In the brand new episode of her Archetypes podcast, Meghan Markle has insisted that being demanding isn't the same as being difficult. The Duchess, of course, was notoriously accused of being both by overworked Kensington Palace staff, sparking a bullying probe that's not been made public.
The Duchess of Sussex said there's a big difference between knowing what you want and just being plain old difficult. But is she right? Joining us in the studio is Matt Wilkinson, the royal editor at The Sun, and joining us from his home in Watford is the former royal editor at The Sun, Charlie Ray. Welcome, Charlie, and welcome, Matt.
Hi.
Is Meghan difficult?
Well, it depends what she's trying to talk about here. I mean, if we look back to her time at the royal family, it's very well documented, her behaviour at the time, so it depends what she's actually talking about. And we can look at the things that were levelled against her, the accusations of bullying staff, of being difficult with staff. And at some stage, I believe, Kate and William actually had to intervene and speak to some members of the staff. So hopefully she's not talking about that.
And Charlie, in this podcast, she's talking about the sort of trope or the cliche that black women are often called angry. And actually, it made quite interesting listening when she was discussing that. But on these specific elements, do you think that in some ways she was trying to put the record straight of what Matt was referring to, going back over those old stories?
No, I don't. I just think it's Meghan again moaning about her lot and, her life and everything else. And isn't it interesting that the only person who apparently ever raises the fact that she has got an ethnic background is Meghan herself. She's now saying things like, "I'm not difficult. I'm not a bully. I'm particular about things." And she's saying she's trying to get rid of the stereotype of the angry black woman. Well, I've met some of the people who have made allegations of bullying at the ex-royal courtiers against Meghan, and I can tell you from what they tell me, this is not her being particular, it's her being a blatant bully.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, Charlie, from what I understand and from what I read, is pretty much everyone who comes into contact with Meghan, with the possible exception of Harry, does find her extremely difficult.
Well, they do, and she's so many staff members have left her employ when she was a so-called working royal. I'm surprised that no one ever called her Princess P45, to be perfectly honest. I mean, because as soon as she fell foul of someone, she used to send emails and expect them to be answered at something like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. I mean, it's a ridiculous thing for her, to do. I'm not impressed with her at all. No, and you and I, Kevin, have certainly discussed in the past. I thought she was brilliant when she first came into the royal family. It's a breath of fresh air for all the reasons that she's now using to sort of castigate the royal family for not helping her, which is absolute rubbish.
And Matt, it's interesting, isn't it, that she's had this podcast for some time now. It's been coming out, different areas. It certainly has done well as far as getting lots of listeners for Spotify. But I wonder what the royal family over here are making of what she's doing over there.
Well, her podcast as such, well,
yeah.
I think a podcast definitely has viewers. It definitely has currency, particularly in America. I'm sure they're watching it and quite closely. And I think Charlie was referring there, actually, there was quite a lot of royals back here. They've set up a club called the Sussex Survivors Club.
Yeah.
That went through all this. They went through the 5 a.m. emails. They went through the shouting matches. They went through the arguments, and they were, some of them, well documented. They felt in bits. They felt broken. So I think they watched this episode in particular and tried to work if it tallied with their experiences.
And it is interesting, because many people have said it wasn't that she was demanding, it's that she was a typical Hollywood celebrity, and they're all like that. They're all really demanding, and that it was a culture clash between the rather sort of more gentle and traditional way that sort of palace staff work and the much more abrasive, demanding, I want it and I want it now, sort of Californian attitude.
I think you mean a typical Hollywood C-list celebrity. She was not exactly at the top of the pile in Tinseltown, was she? It seems to me that she's or arguably, she's kind of expressing her Hollywood fantasy of being a superstar by getting into the royal family and acting big, to be honest with you.
Well, also, Meghan's not the only woman that's been in the royal family over these decades. There's been plenty and plenty of strong women with strong opinions that have been through the royal family, from the Queen to the Queen Mother to Sarah Ferguson. She's not the only person that has expressed strong opinions while being a member of the royal family.